Alright, so here's another update on the Jupiter. Starting up a painting session now. I did a little airbrushing here on the floor and the ceiling, and I'll talk about that a little later. The outer holes. I finally started putting some paint on them. This has a black coat with a really light white spray on it. Then this one is still at the black coat stage. This is fairly fresh, but I can probably put the white on it pretty soon. Mainly the black is to show off exactly what kind of blemishes are on the surface of the model that you got to deal with. So it's definitely a good thing to do. This will be a lot less hidden, or a lot more hidden, once this goes to a grayscale. There's a few areas of minor scratching in here, but in thinking back to the original review videos, I'm pretty sure that the upper hull got the worst of it. I'm sure some of this is mine, but to a large degree this is the way it came. So I'm hoping that a really solid few coats of primer is going to fix all those blemishes up, and hopefully I'll be able to maintain the recesses that are here by the door at the proper depths, as well as up here and around the window. Yeah, all that scratching really shows off pretty well when you look at it from a few different angles. So apart from that, I'm going to be airbrushing these next few pieces here. There's one more that's drying, and that'll be a few more hours, so I'm going to wait a little bit before I do these. But same process as here. Any kind of airbrush you got is definitely going to work. There's mine sitting right there. Notice I got a pile of magnets on the side of that, and that is so obviously I can attach that anywhere and just have it sit and rest. Definitely a handy thing to do. We'll take a look at a single action and a dual action airbrush. There's not too much difference in this regard. A dual action will give you finer control over the lines you're putting down, but in this case we're just putting it, using it as a single action, where we're just coating entire surfaces as flatly as possible and want as big a spray pattern as possible too. So there's not going to be too much worry, especially on these. There's going to be some masking off to do, and basically I'm waiting a full 24 to 36 hours in between coats for everything. So these are coming up on 24 hours at this point, and another, it's probably 20 hours right now. So tomorrow at this time, probably 36 to 48 hours is more realistic. So dinner tomorrow night is when I can mask off some of those. And the day after that I'll be able to do some of these. The hulls are just going to stay at this gray stage for a long while. This is just to get an idea of what the surface is going to be like, and since everything else is advancing, I wanted to bring those along as well. Then one trick I may have mentioned in some other videos is that since this is a black and white pass, it's not the same as doing a single gray pass. Basically, when the black was on, I went at a really steep angle and with the white coat, and basically burned all the shadows in around those edges. So if I airbrush over this really lightly with the metals, hopefully that pattern will stay there of toning. And it's an experiment in this case because the external hull is basically silver, and I'm going to be going for some alclads for that. I haven't figured out which ones exactly yet, but let me pull them out. These can be tricky insofar as they're lacquers, not enamels. So they mix with enamels in a really strange way. But as far as metals go, these are definitely just about top of the line as you can get. I'm going to do some tests on the inner landing bay wells. That's basically one of the primary reasons why I decided to paint this now, because since those will be recessed, it will be easy to assess whether any damage occurs because of any of these colors. I'm probably going to be going with these two right here, just because I want a fairly bright, non-super reflective surface. And this one will be a good toner. Magnesium and dark aluminum. So maybe I'll even reverse that. Is this a regular aluminum? White aluminum. I'll definitely have to experiment. There's a few different tones that can go in there and they'll be really nice. And I'll probably, if that succeeds on the inner wells there without any damage, I'll use this copper to finish off the US satellite there. But that's another story. So in a little bit I'm going to get these pieces of the model out of the way, and we'll get set up for painting these, the wall colors. There's some decisions to make on that. For example, even though I'm going to be using the base wall color on those parts there, I'm not going to do the pylons because I got a couple of other options I want to think about with those before I commit to paint, because I would need a couple of them to possibly take apart even. So when we're talking about tools for successful painting, you definitely need a really big fan or a really powerful fan. This is on low setting right now, and from the experiments I've been doing lately, it wouldn't be bad if I was able to extend the box out all the way through here and up around here, so I can get a better angle on working on the large pieces. Really, the smaller pieces, it's easy enough to shoot the paint inside the box area, but that large piece like that was kicking back in the room pretty severely. So in addition to a fan, if not two, definitely open out your door if that's really close and get some cross ventilation going on. You're going to want definitely some latex gloves. I got these from the dollar store. It's like a 10-pack of those. So those will last me 2 or 3 paint sessions, and then they just eventually rip. The dust mask itself is not any good whatsoever for the fumes. You got to have the fan for that, if not 2 fans. This is going to help keep mist out of your lungs, basically. Won't help with the chemical fumes, but will keep particulate matter out of your lungs to a degree. Paint is pretty small, and this is probably not quite at a micron mesh rating for anything other than standard dust particles, which are relatively large compared to paint mist. So I'll clear this off. We'll talk about some color choices going on for these parts coming up here. Masking on that will happen tomorrow. We've got a couple aftermarket notes that we can make on that as far as the floor goes, and I'll bring those pieces out. We'll definitely be talking about decals and vinyl masks and all that kind of thing as the pieces get worked on, or representative pieces of a given class of mask or decal, for example. So I think that's it for this overall overview, and at 8 minutes that definitely encompasses quite a bit. So with that, I'll cut this session completely right now, and we'll go for probably painting those wall pieces next. See ya.